On this episode of The Nightly Met, this play might have a sweet name, but it really packs a punch. We sit down with the cast and creative team of The Cake. He's not only a student, but he's a rapper and so much more. Turner Jackson is here to lay down some of those sweet tracks. And when something goes wrong, it just goes so right. Miscast is back, and Robert Michael Sanders is here to tell us what sort of deliciously twisted acts to expect this year. Hello and welcome to our first episode of Season 3 of The Nightly Met. I am excited to be back from a summer hiatus, and now that we have a lot of fun lined up for tonight, let's just jump right in. Our first guests tonight are not bakers, but might know a thing or two about making a cake. Serving up the regional premiere of The Cake, a timely play based on the Colorado cake shop controversy, is producing artistic director Chip Walton and actress Emma Messenger. Hello, how are you guys tonight?
Great, thank you.
Thanks for coming down. So let's just jump in, because I've been looking forward to this play for so long now. Chip, why don't you start as producing artistic director and director of the show? Tell us a little bit about what The Cake is.
Well, the cake is, I think that people will just naturally associate it with the Masterpiece Cake case, and it is certainly in part inspired by that, but it's also inspired by the playwright Becca Brunstedter's, her life growing up in North Carolina, and her dad, who was a conservative politician and voted for the Defense of Marriage Act, otherwise known as Amendment 1. And I think it really kind of made her realize that she needed to kind of confront some really fundamental questions about belief and fellowship amongst her family. And then of course what's happened over the past couple of years in this country expands it to a really kind of interesting question about whether that fellowship is even possible anymore in such divisive times.
For sure. And I think that's what I love about this show is, like you said, it's so complex. It's not just a drama, it's not just a comedy, it's not just about a cake controversy. It layers so many themes and topics into this one show. So what is it like for both you guys tackling a show that's so immense, but at the same time, only 90 minutes long?
It's been a lot more difficult than I thought it would be, actually, to kind of get a handle on this, to find the right tone, to make it big enough for these wonderful, funny characters, but at the same time, finding that heart and those moments where it really is reflective and deep. So it's about finding that balance, I think.
Exactly. Chip, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think the hardest thing for me is just sort of, Becca is really intentionally making an effort to, I think, challenge audiences like me who tend to be firmly planted on one side of the aisle with a really kind of human portrayal and exploration of the folks on the other side of the aisle. Yeah. So at a time when I think many of us, myself at least, is really pretty committed to activism on behalf of our beliefs, it's a really great and challenging experience to sort of fall in love with characters like Della, who hold beliefs that I find not to be held by myself. So it's an interesting exercise right now for anybody. I think regardless of whether you're on the right or the left, proverbial right or the left, you're going to come to this show and you're going to have some of your assumptions really challenged.
Yeah.
Talk more about Della, the character you play.
Well, she is this very lovable, adorable character, and yet she holds beliefs that are certainly very different from mine and came down on the other side of this case. The difference between Della's situation and the Masterpiece case is that the woman who asks her to make the cake in this case is a personal friend, somebody she loves. And so it is much more difficult to reject somebody for who they are when you have, watched them grow up and felt like they're your own daughter. So it has that level of relationship drama to it.
And let's talk more about, it's a drama, but it's a comedy. It's a dramedy in a sense. And that's a word that maybe people don't hear a lot outside of the theater world. So kind of how would you guys describe the tone of the play? Kind of how would you describe the play in the sense of the genre?
Well, I think it's a comedy. I mean, I think it's a comedy until it's not a comedy. And
It's a comedy for as long as we can make it a comedy.
yeah. I mean, it's funny. I mean, we've been talking about Norman Lear, and particularly shows like All in the Family, as being good models where you have sort of a real kind of like through line of comedy that then sort of drops into very heartful and meaningful moments. And I think the great thing about that style is they take you by surprise a little bit, right? So you're not, so they sneak up on you, and I think the great thing about the comedic form in dealing with issues that are controversial or complex is it gives you a little bit of distance, right? So you are able to enjoy it, but also find some space to think about the issues in a way that's not kind of, forgive me for lack of a better phrase, but so in your face.
Yeah.
It's a way in.
Yeah. It's a way to get people interested in loving those characters.
And I think people on both sides of this situation will find a lot in this show. It does a really good job of exploring these complicated issues.
And Emma, I want to talk to you because you've had more of a challenge in this role in the sense that you're just not learning the lines and learning the blocking. You had to learn how to decorate a cake.
I did.
You did. So did you have any prior cake decorating experience?
No. And I'm still not very good. I'm just going to act like I know what I'm doing.
So in the show, do you actually decorate a cake?
A little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
All right. Do you feel more confident now going into it?
Yeah, like maybe this is, something I want to do. No.
My question is, are they real cakes? Do you get to take a cake home every night with you?
Well, some of them are real cake.
The audience gets cake every night.
Yeah.
That's a reason in itself to the audience get cakes every night. I know, like we talked about, it's based around the masterpiece cake controversy, but it's also its own thing. But I do want to talk about, obviously, this show. You guys picked to produce it before the Supreme Court ruled, and now the Supreme Court has ruled against in favor of the cake shop, saying that they had the right to do this. So has that changed how you approach this show or how you thought about anything versus when you picked the show?
Well, and now Jack Phillips has sued
again.
So there's
it goes
the suit
on.
continues.
I don't think it was so much the Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court decision was so narrow and didn't really, decide anything forever. But for me, this is a character that my job as an actor is to love this woman and to find out what she's thinking so that I can represent her point of view, which is very difficult for me because I'm completely on the other side of the issue. So I really had to think, how would I feel if I was asked to do, for example, a voiceover for a political campaign that I disagreed with, something where I was lending my talent or my artistry to something I didn't believe in. And that was kind of my in to this woman. Okay. But she struggles. Yeah. She really does. Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to add with that?
Well, no, I mean, I think, I'm not sure that the Supreme Court case, I think whatever the outcome would have been wouldn't have changed the relevance and the importance of this play. Because I think what it's really getting at is something that's much deeper and much more problematic. I don't want to say more problematic, but, the fact that right now, a recent Pew study showed that people's political identification is more profound in terms of who they socialize with, who they marry, who they choose to work for and with, than race or gender or religion or anything. And so right now I think we're at a really problematic moment where I don't think people are talking. And Becca, bless her heart, still has this wonderful hope that I think we need more of, that, hey, maybe if we just sat down and had a piece of cake together, we could put our differences aside. I don't know. I don't know whether I think that's possible or not, but I think it's a really great, interesting question to entertain.
I love it. The last question, because we're running out of time. Why should people come see The Cake at Curious Theater Company?
Because I'm topless. With a lot of buttercream.
Well, there it is. That's the whole reason.
I don't think I can top that.
I'm not going to ask you to give a preview right now. They'll
Thank
have
you,
to buy
Avery.
a ticket.
Absolutely.
The Cake opens at Curious Theater Company September 1st and runs until October 13th. Tickets start at $30 with $10 rush tickets an hour before the performance. So be sure to get your tickets now. And thank you both so much for coming on the
Thank you
show
for
today.
having us.
All right.
You got to get up every morning with a smile on your face and show the world all the love in your heart.
The phrase, "she was a soundtrack for a generation," might be an understatement when it comes to Carole King. King is a songwriter who, during her career, wrote hundreds of songs for groups ranging from the Drifters to Aretha Franklin to Mariah Carey. Her music has now inspired the Broadway show Beautiful, The Carole King Story, which is playing at the Ellie Calkins Opera House for only 1 week. We sat down with some of the cast to find out what the beauty of Beautiful is all about.
I'm Allison Whitehurst, and I play Cynthia Weil.
And I'm Jacob Heimer, and I play Barry Mann.
We're basically songwriters in that building, along with Carole King and Jerry Goffin.
You know, she is such an important figure in music,
Yes.
Personally and musically. So no matter what your age, no matter how much of a fan you are of hers, like her music just draws you in.
People who think that they don't know Carole King,
Yeah.
young people are going to show up and be like, I know that
Yeah.
song. I know that song.
Yeah.
And so you think it's so far removed from you, but she is so prolific and transcendent that people are going to recognize the music and love it.
The show, just like Carole's music, is able to connect with audiences on an emotional level that some music can only strive for. And all these years later, it has not lost the ability to pull a single heartstring.
It's written from the heart.
Yeah.
And I think that there's something that we can all relate to about finding our own voices, finding our identity, working through heartbreak. It's things that bonds humanity. And so she's a vulnerable songwriter, and that's what good music is.
You know, at the end of the day, it's just a human underdog story, and you're just rooting for Carole and her very complicated life, while also being one of the most likable people who's ever lived. I mean, Carole in real life is like this incredible person, and our Carole, Sarah Bachl, carries that with her not only on stage but off stage. I've never been in a musical where every time the show starts, I get excited by the songs. There's a very often something where you're a part of something for a long time where you're like, okay, I'm going to work, I'm checking in, I'm getting through. I love my job, but okay, I've heard this music how many times? That has never happened to me in the show. Every time I hear the music in the show, I get excited. It's the music I grew up with. It's in a lot of our musical DNA. There's nobody with a beating heart that isn't going to connect to Carole and the struggle she goes through and these incredible songs that feel otherworldly. I mean, the songs transcend all of the moments you might be having a heartbreak. A song will transcend that.
Beautiful, the Carole King Story plays the Ellie Calkins Opera House until September 9th. Tickets start at $35 with a special half-price student ticket 1 hour before each performance. The man who does everything, and yes, I mean everything, writer Shel Friedman is back to talk about his new book, The Silk Swan, the third book in your trilogy.
It is the third book.
the
Avery.
third
Thank you for having me back.
Yeah, thanks for coming. We had you on, it's probably a year ago.
Yes, at that
this
time,
point.
the second book in the trilogy, The Satin Sash, had been published, and we talked about that. First book was The Velvet Prison, and this is the third book. And they're standalone publications, so you don't have to read all three of them.
Okay.
Of course, I'd like that you would. but-
You can always buy all three of them, though.
Right, yeah. And, but this one is the first book, The Velvet Prison. It took place pre-World War II.
Okay.
Second book during World War II. And the third book starts at Roosevelt's funeral in 1945. And it goes to the latter days of the Cold War, where the Berlin Wall came down.
Wonderful. Tell me why, so this is the last in the trilogy.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it is. But of course, I've left room for a fourth book just in case.
So if this ends up being the last in the trilogy,
Right.
why end it here? Like you said, you left room, but why are we kind of saying this is the ending?
Well, this book, the protagonist, the sister and brother, the brother who's a painter, an artist, a famous artist, becomes a famous artist, and his sister, who becomes a famous stage star on the Broadway stage, they've grown up and they have children, and the book focuses, at least in the second two-thirds of the book, I should say, focuses on the children. And we have some tragedy, we have some comedy, we have a lot of drama, we have a few tears, but the book focuses on the children, and which leaves the room for a fourth book, which involves just the children.
Well, I have a feeling with how much you do and how talented you are, we're probably going to get a fourth book.
Well, maybe. These people, I've lived with them for 3 years. Actually, more than that. The first book took 7 years to write, and the last two are a little quicker. So I've lived with these people. They're family. I know them. They're friends, and it may be time to quit.
Time to move on.
Time to move on, right. But this one is a book that involves a lot more of the relationships of the parties.
Okay.
We have a young black gay dancer, ballet dancer, who is striving to be the best that he can and trying to bring his famous father, who is also an artist. And by the way, these people, he was a real artist, the father, that's not fiction. And tried to bring him around. And we have a young boy who is the son of the protagonist, Travis Kane, who wants to become an architect. Mm-hmm. And he's striving to be the best he can. And we have New York after World War II. We were just licking our wounds and trying to get better. We have this communist scare.
Yeah.
And we have an unusual situation where Premier Khrushchev and President Kennedy use their heart instead of their heads to bring about a situation that could have resulted in an international problem.
Sure.
So we have all that, plus we have a lot of dancing. We have the Silk Swan. We have a ballerina that is sent from the Bolshoi to take the lead in the Swan Lake in New York. We have the United Nations, which is just being built, and we have Lincoln Center, which is just on the building plans. And in fact, the ballet, the Swan Lake, takes place in Philharmonic Hall towards the end of the book, which was the only building that was completed at that time.
So there's just so much going on.
There's a lot
something
going
for
on.
everyone.
I don't want to give any spoilers
No.
of the thing, but I can tell you that my college roommate, who I'm still in touch with, said that who's my #1 fan, by the way, read the book and said that he mentioned one part which everyone who has read it so far has mentioned, and he said, I was brought to tears. I said, well, you were supposed to have been, so that was that.
So I did my job correctly then.
Right.
As a writer,
I
you
did
said
my job.
Yeah, exactly. So you're also a playwright, and
Yes, I've written a number of plays. The one that had most commercial success was a play which had an Alzheimer theme and was performed at the Crossroads Theater, but this was in 2010. But it got a review in Westward, so I was happy about that, and it played 6 nights, 3 weekends to a sold-out audience, so I was happy about that. The rest of them have been easier to write a play than to write a book. That book is lengthy, 304 pages. 100 pages of a play is a lot easier to write.
Sure.
And when it's rejected, you don't feel as bad.
Well, my question is, now that you've kind of closed the chapter on these characters for the book,
Yes.
will they maybe resurface in a play one day?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
I always wanted to write a screenplay.
Okay.
And I may give that a try, and I've got another book in mind if I don't continue with this.
So what you're saying, as soon as this is bought by some company
theater,
for a
right.
movie. You're going to write the screenplay.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think if I have a professional, this would be my first screenplay.
I think you can do it, and then you'll invite me with you to the Oscars when you accept the award for
I would
Best
invite
Screenplay.
you, and you would have a ticket. Right. of
Perfect.
course.
Well, we're running out of time, so let's talk. It's an ebook right now. You can buy it online.
Ebook on Amazon or any ebook publisher.
Perfect.
Or distributor, and you can get the hardback on Amazon, and you could get it ordered at Barnes & Noble or anyplace else.
Perfect. Well,
Okay.
thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you for having me.
We're really excited for the new book,
I'm excited too. I
and
hope
we
it
will
does
see you
well.
next year when you have a new book out, probably.
I might do that.
All right.
Thank you
you
very
so
much.
much, sir. Coming up, Turner Jackson is about to perform some of his original music for us, and Robert Michael Sanders is finally ready to reveal who will make you pee your pants at this year's Miscast. Stay tuned.
Constance Middleton is rewriting her role in The Constant Wife, a clever comedy playing the Denver Center September 21st through October 21st. Visit denvercenter.org for tickets.
Got my red plastic cup, jungle juice and pour it up.
That right there is Turner Jackson. Jackson is a Denver-based rapper who believes that meshing sounds and styles is the key to success. In addition to being an innovative rapper, he is now a student right here at Metropolitan State University of Denver. Here with me now is Turner Jackson. Hello, sir. How are you?
How you doing, Avery?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man.
Great.
I can't complain.
So I know you as a student and as a fellow colleague, but you are also a Denver rapper.
Yeah.
So just tell me how that started. How did you get into the rap scene in the first place?
First I've always made music and stuff like that and wanted to rap and things like that since I was young. And then so when I came back from the military, I had like my goals set on doing that, and I was like around like 2010 I came back and then just like dove like straight into it, and then kind of made my way through like Denver music scene and things of that nature, and then like had the opportunity to do some like really cool things and play some like really cool shows, and then like it became more than like when people make music, there's not always like a goal or an ambition. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just like I just want to make music, and then so like, but then like if you want to like make it like a career, then there has to be like a goal or ambition attached to it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Exactly.
so like it took me like those formative years up until like now to like.
Yeah, because music is an art form. I mean, it's an
Yeah.
expression of who you are, but you're right. If you want to make a career out of it, you gotta push a little bit further than just hanging out in your basement making some music.
Yeah.
Now, I think it's really cool. We call you a rapper, but your style isn't just what like you would hear on the radio, let's say,
I don't
for
like.
rap.
Okay, so I would say that like I'm generalized as well. So I did way more rapping before, like just straight traditional rapping. So it's fair like when people do call me a rapper because like that's what they know me as, and then it's hard to like attach another thing to it because I don't know what to call it. I like to sing and stuff as well as like whatever, but I'm not a singer. So it's just like I like to make, new term, modern crooner.
Modern crooner.
Yeah.
Explain that to me, because I know the word modern.
But crooner, like Frank Sinatra, you know.
Okay.
Be a lady, like that's the kind of music that he did.
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
it's called crooning, and then so, but like I am in my brain, I'm doing that. Like that's like what it looks like in my brain when I'm doing that, but like in a more modern, fun version.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you look at yourself as like a modern Frank Sinatra.
Oh yeah, just like a modern version of old music. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like the Temptations or like swing music, just like in a modern.
So that's kind of where the influences came
Yeah.
from, and now you've taken it into the 21st century and put your own spin on it.
Yeah.
So who else is your influences? Who did you listen to growing up?
I listened to, so growing up, I did listen to like a lot more rap and stuff like that. And then I would say like Kanye West is like a very big influence musically to me. But then like also like a lot of like gangster rappers. Like there's this group called the Locks from Yonkers, New York. And then Styles P is like one of my first favorite rappers ever. But then like also one of my first favorite rappers is like not a great rapper. It's a dude named like Silk the Shocker. Like if anybody knows who Silk the Shocker is, he's like not great. But like, you know, it's like, so it's just like, you know, I like pop music though. I like it like currently and like in general in life, I love pop music. And then so like, I feel like a lot of the music that shaped the kind of music that I want to do are like music from like movies and TV shows and stuff like that. So like that's like where like I could probably sing any song that was like in a 90s TV show or movie or current 2000 and like not know the name of it or who sings it. Okay. But like I know it.
You just
like,
know it.
If I hear it.
Right, because you just grew up watching it, now it's embedded in your brain. Now I think it's really cool that you believe that success in music comes when you kind of create a marriage between two sounds. Not so much of like, this is, you know, a distinct sound. So how did you come across that in the first place of kind of meshing sounds together, and why do you think that's the key to success?
Because it's like this, so there's like always, there's like the original music or the thing that you are. Like for me, we're gonna use like rap. Like rap was my original music. Like, so that's the thing that I was able to do. And then like, so you have to take like those base talents and skills. Like I was a rapper. I learned how to rap because I'm really good with words and like speaking and stuff like that. And so from there, like it wasn't a hard thing for me to grasp, like playing the trumpet or something like that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for
so
sure.
like baseline, I'm very good with like rapping in words. But then like there's more to like telling a story or like conveying, not even telling a story, but just conveying like an idea other than like the technical skill of rapping.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then so like there's like a rhetoric, like rapping itself could be a rhetoric thing, but like if you add like a new sound, like that Motown sound or something like that, we were talking about, like, do you know what I'm saying? If you add that, like, you know, with like modern sound and like modern music, you get like a new thing, but the new thing isn't so far off that the average consumer or person doesn't get it because it's the meshing of two regular things. Like, you get that?
Yeah.
Like the way that your brain works is like when you imagine something, you're not imagining something that's new. You're imagining multiple complex ideas. Because you can't ever imagine a new thing.
Yeah. So you're kind of like creating a new sound, but using old sounds to trick the brain into thinking they've already heard it, in a sense. It's a familiar sound to them.
Yeah, it's not like a stretch.
Right, and as humans, we like things familiar. We like, exactly, well, I really like it. Well, we're running out of time, but I want to talk about, you're still a student here at MSU Denver.
Yes.
1 year left.
Yeah, senior.
Senior year, congratulations. What's the plan after that?
Plan after that is to just go on the road, hit the road. I'm gonna have a cool opportunity to like go touring and stuff like that. So I'm gonna just do that, take full advantage. I don't have anything tying me down to the land, so like I'm just gonna like go.
Just see what life has in store for you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We're gonna hear you perform 2 songs coming up, which I'm excited for. I can't wait. So thank you so much, Turner Jacks, for coming on.
Thank you.
Awesome.
This doesn't have to be a bad thing. We had a good time, so I sang. You're fun and I wanna see you again. Walk a shameless.
I just wanna make you a playlist. And when you miss me, you listen to it. Another feel-good song, 'cause yeah, I get. So let's just act like no one else is here. The walk of shameless, I'm proud of my activity. The only thing I'm hoping is that you come and visit me a little later, or maybe in a day or so. Met a lot of people, you could be my favorite though. Fell in love and gave it up while the moonlight glow. Grabbed my way from the club with you 'cause you very cool. Daydreamed of this as a kid in summer school. Now I'm glowed up, imagination coming true. Thank you for coming through. Don't have to scurry off so soon. A pancake brunch or scramble up an egg or two. In all actuality, you could do what you want to. You could stay or leave, or you could kick it with me. But don't feel bad, it's the walk of shameless, baby. I'ma plant you with this playlist, then plant you with this real kiss. Don't hesitate to call if you find me in your feelings. You could get a substitute, but you could never find a feeling. I just wanna make you a playlist. And when you miss me, you listen to it. Another feel-good song, 'cause yeah, I get. So let's just act like no one else is here. Walk of shameless, this doesn't have to be a bad thing. Walk of shameless, we had a good time, so I sang. Walk of shameless, you're fun and I wanna see you again. Walk of shameless, walk of shameless. I don't know how you've been through, but I know when I saw you, I was gonna have to shoot my shot. I didn't know what you would say, but I had to make my play. Now you and me right here is what we got. You smell so good, you look so fine, and you have a beautiful mind. I knew it from the first moment we talked. Y'all got a nice view. You what I like to see. Ain't no thing better than this bed you cuddled up with me. A couple morning smiles and me smooching on your cheeks. The face and the glutees, your eyes are still them blue seas, the orange coral reefs. After we get this breakfast, we gon' dive into the deep. Captain Nemo and the Nautilus about to do some naughtiness. The mermaids all watching and they love every part of it. I just wanna make you a playlist. And when you miss me, you listen to it. Another feel-good song, 'cause yeah, I care. So let's just act like no one else is here. I just wanna make you a playlist. And when you miss me, you listen to it. Another feel-good song, 'cause yeah, I care. So let's just act like no one else is here.
Coming up September 17th is Miscast, the annual fundraiser for the Denver Actors Fund. Here with me tonight is director, producer extraordinaire, Robert Michael Sanders.
Thank you for having me.
How are
Appreciate it. I'm doing well, thank you.
Wow. This is your second or third time down here.
Second or third time, but fancy new set.
Yes,
well
the
done.
couch.
Yes,
That's the same spot your wife sat last time, too. She was here.
I feel
Megan
intimidated.
Van Hey. I feel intimidated around her as well, but we'll keep that between us.
Right.
So let's talk about Miscast. What is Miscast?
Miscast, the annual fundraiser for the Denver Actors Fund, which of course provides emergency funding for actors who find themselves in medical need, etc. So we perform Miscast as our benefit, and it is a chance for performers to come out and do something that they would never be allowed to do or ever cast to do. There's a lot of gender twists and race things and parodies, and it's a great night of entertainment for a great cause.
And this is the only fundraiser that the Denver Actors Fund organizes themselves through you.
Correct. This is the only official actual Actors Fund fundraiser.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we get
because
the stamp.
others do fundraisers for them, but this is the only one that they.
Yes, and many people donate to the Actors Fund, and we thank you. But this one is our baby that we've created, and I shouldn't even say created. It's been around for a long time. We've just turned it into our Actors Fund.
Yeah. And there's a Miscast around the country happen.
Correct.
And in Denver, we just use it to benefit the Denver Actors Fund.
Right. There are some others in different places. A lot of them I think are for benefits, but ours is specific.
Let's talk more about the Denver Actors Fund, because it's such a great organization, and I feel like still a lot of people don't know about it. So, in your words, what is the Denver Actors Fund?
In my words, the Denver Actors Fund is, it's kind of like this little magic pair of angel wings for actors who, if anybody can believe this, sometimes actors don't have health insurance. So it's one of those things that if you just run into a medical need, a problem, an emergency, and you just find yourself unable to pay a medical bill or a dental bill, the Actors Fund is there specifically for anybody that has worked on a production in Colorado. And to date, we have given out over, I love to say this, over $250,000.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's truly amazing.
Truly amazing, because it's only 5 years old.
Exactly. It just baffles me every time I hear that. And you yourself have used the Actors Fund services.
I have. And John Moore and I sort of talked about what this could be before it existed. And then from my own injury that stemmed this idea, then Chris Brooks became a founder and John Moore became the founder and took it over and went, we need a fund for when something happens so we have it in place and we're not chasing things around.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I've had a hand in it from the get-go, and it is a very personal passion project for me to keep fundraising.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I love about Miscast is you get the fun, you get the crazy, you get the absurd, but you also get that emotional part of the evening.
Yes, it's for a purpose, yeah. But boy, we have a good time, though.
Yeah. You get the whole roller coaster of emotions you produce. So talk about what is it like producing something like this? It's not a typical show.
No, it's a nightmare. It's producing something with many, many moving pieces where you really, commando theater, you get into the space and you rehearse and put it up and really piece it together on the fly. I think I get in at 2 o'clock that day and we light that candle at 7:30. So.
There we go.
A million moving pieces, and it all comes together. I have an amazing team of people.
And how do you kind of put the acts together? How do those happen?
So the acts are all submitted through the Actors Fund website. So everybody submits an act, and then that becomes something that the committee, we call it the theater luminaries, but there are several of us that all look at these and figure out what is the best thing, what's the most value, this covers this, and that's an interesting twist. And then we also take into consideration the diversity of our cast, of all the people in Miscast. Are we representing all the communities? Everybody wants to be part of it. I've never had more applications ever. So it was really difficult this year. So that's kind of how the process goes. We finally select finalists. We tell them, here it is, it's coming. Now we talk about what it is, let's rehearse, let's figure out an order, and we build a show.
And we're going to talk about the full lineup, or most of the lineup, coming up in a little bit. But are there any maybe special surprises or twists that you're doing this year that we can discuss?
There's the possibility of an opening number that usually has a twist, and I can't say, but I often end up in it. There are many twists, and I can't give away the acts. I can only give away the people. Much surprises.
And we will talk about the people coming up later.
So I won't give away anything magical.
Nothing, but it will be magical.
It's going to be fantastic.
September 17th.
September 17th.
Meisel Arts Center.
Yes, and this is the first year it is co-produced by the Meisel Arts and Cultural Center.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, so they are co-producing, which is why we get the lovely facility.
It's a beautiful facility.
I have to fill 400 seats,
So you all heard it. We got to get in there. $20 a ticket.
Yep.
And it goes to the Denver Actors Fund, so you're supporting a cause.
100% donation.
100% to the Denver Actors Fund. You get to see something you would never see before or see again.
And you cannot unsee.
And you cannot unsee, no matter how much you want to unsee it. I've been there many times. Any last words you want to say about Miscast?
It really is, if there's one community building event, I think this is it. We have awards, we have other things that are all wonderful and have a purpose. This one is a true community event because it is really actors getting to cut loose with other actors for a purpose that protects and serves actors.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right.
Thank you so much.
Boy meets girl. Land meets sky. And joy meets its musical match. Reintroduce yourself to one of America's most beloved musicals, Rodgers and Hammerstein's Oklahoma, at the Denver Center September 7th through October 14th. Visit denvercenter.org for tickets.
I came out in the 11th grade. Nobody was embracing you. The kids were cruel. It was very difficult to be gay. Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. And even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. I have a mentor, Maria, and she convinced me to continue my education. Just never judges. She's a true role model.
From the depths of my heart, I thank you, Maria, for being a friend and a beautiful person. No one receives a diploma alone, and I'm honored to share this moment with you. Thank you.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
All right, we are back with Robert Michael Sanders. Now is the moment. It is the time. We are going to talk about the lineup for Miscast. Now, I want to just preface, we can't say what the acts are.
Right. All acts are a surprise on the spot. They will not even be in the program.
Not even in the program, so it's top secret. So again, $20, buy your tickets to see these acts, but this is who you can see that night.
Here's the lineup.
Okay, here we go.
Probably the strongest lineup that we've ever had. I say that every year. First, our music director is Donna Debrasini. So she always does this and is fantastic and gives so much of her time.
Okay.
The lineup in no particular order.
Okay.
Chris Brooks, Henry Award winner Jake Mendez, Chris Graves, T.J. Hogle and Chaz Lederer, Broadway alumni Candy Brown, Mark Pergola, multiple Henry-winning music director David Nels, IATSE dispatcher Max Peterson and his brother Elliot Peterson, who is out in Mamma Mia together.
Yep.
I have Suzanne Neppy, Arlene Rapal, Lisa Young, Luann Buckstein. I have Kay Woodzik, I think. Oh, and I have Anna High and Avery Anderson in a performance as well.
Yes, we're doing a little bit together.
Plus, there may be surprises.
Many surprises along the way.
There may be surprises.
All right, let's talk. So, a couple names. There's so many wonderful names on there. Jake Mendez.
Yes.
Like you said, just won the Henry for Best Leading Actor in a Musical
Correct.
for Hedwig and the Angry Inch. So, I think this list shows that it's not just Avery, untalented Avery, trying to pretend to do stuff on a stage. I mean, these are real actors, real performers up there.
Yes, Candy Brown's Broadway credits are longer than my entire resume. And she has something specific in mind that's never been done.
So we have a Broadway performer
Yes.
coming to Miscast to perform. That's amazing.
Yes, she's here. She's in town. I believe she lives here full time, but she is a Broadway alum, amongst many other things. Original Chicago and things like that. So she's.
And we have cast members from Mamma Mia.
We have cast members from Mamma Mia. We have. Music directors more than we've ever had involved, which is unusual. We have our first ever non-binary gender performer at Miscast that I am very proud to announce.
That's a huge step, in my opinion.
Yes, it is a huge step. We are the most inclusive group I can ever think of, so we want to continue promoting that is what we do.
And I think that's what this list shows. It's all races, all genders, All walks of life are here.
It is. This list I'm very proud of. It is all walks of life.
Why is it so important to have diversity at Miscast?
I think it's important because we need diversity everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think it starts with us. It starts with us as the performers willing to say, we want to do things, break down barriers. If we can do it for fun for ourselves, please the rest of the world follow.
Now we're running out of time, but I want to ask, and I think there's a clear answer to this question.
Okay.
Who are you most looking forward to? I mean, you can say whoever, but I know who I'm looking forward to
Well,
the
listen,
most.
I got to cut right to it. I mean, the actor that I'm most looking forward to is Avery Anderson and Anna High. That should be something.
Mm-hmm.
That should be something. That should be something.
Yep, and you know what? I can't even talk about it because I don't even know what we're doing all the way yet. Still working that part out.
Spectacular.
So, 2 weeks, you can find out.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you so much, sir, for coming down here.
Please come join us. Thank you so much for
Yes,
having
be
me.
sure to come to the Meisel Arts Center September 17th. Get your tickets now.
Got my red plastic cup, jungle juice and pour it up. I don't know what it is, but it's got me all messed up. Blacked out like there's no lights, have anything I like. I'm so glad that I'm here for the rest of my life. We walked into the party. There were beautiful people. Mystery drinks with our friends. And getting down on the table. Belly shots out in Naples. Moon rocks and some powder. Can that girl upstairs? Screaming it louder. She was covered in paint. When I walked in the room, her and her girlfriends just trying something new. Got my red plastic cup, jungle juice and pour it up. I don't know what it is, but it's got me all messed up. Blacked out like there's no lights, have anything I like. I'm so glad that I'm here for the rest of my life. We're going streak and get naked, bearing all our intentions. I'm yelling something important, but no one's paying attention. This is a toast to the most, mixed drinks and some dose. And that girl upstairs just rolled up a blunt. It was smoky as what? When I walked in the room, a great night, good friends, and a whole lot of booze. Yeah, I'm here, you got it. Pour that drink in my plastic goblet. Yeah, this place be my party palace. Feel like the king sipping out the chalice. See all these queens, it ain't no challenge. If I like it, then it's the mileage. If I like it, then it's the mileage. But a bad attitude is a minus. Red plastic cup, jungle juice and pour it up. I don't know what it is, but it's got me all messed up. Blacked out like there's no lights, have anything I like. I'm so glad that I'm here for the rest of my life. Tonight we live forever, 'cause tonight we are together. Tonight we live forever, 'cause tonight we are together. Got my red plastic cup, jungle juice and pour it up. I don't know what it is, but it's got me all messed up. Blacked out like there's no lights, have anything I like. I'm so glad that I'm here for the rest of my life. Red plastic cup, jungle juice and pour it up. I don't know what it is, but it's got me all messed up. Blacked out like there's no lights, have anything I like. I'm so glad that I'm here for the rest of my life.
Good.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Oh boy. We just found it. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Dad!
Whoa!
You made time.
That was perfect.
Okay, here we go, throw it!
Yeah.
You probably don't remember what you told me.
Nice.
But I heard every word.
One of my favorite segments that we play on this show is Miscast Musicals. This is where my untalented self and two talented people sing songs that we would, well, never really get the chance to sing normally. So joining me is Marco and Adriana Robinson. You guys ready?
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do this.
A customer. Wait, what's your rush? What's your hurry? You gave me such a fright, I thought you was a ghost. Half a minute, can't you sit you down, sit! All I meant is that I haven't seen a customer for weeks. Did you come here for a pie, sir? Do forgive me if me head's a little vague. What is that? What, you think we had the plague? With the way that people keep avoiding? No, you don't. Heaven knows I try, sir. But there's no one comes in even to inhale. Right you are, sir. Would you like a drop veil? No denying times is hard, sir. Even harder than the worst pies in London. Only lard and nothing more. Is that just discussing? All greasy and gritty. It looks like it's molting and tastes like, well, pity a woman alone with limited wind and the worst pies in London. Ah, sir, times is hard. Times is hard.
Talk about the moon floating in the sky, looking like a lily on the lake. Talk about a bird learning how to fly, making all the music it can make. Happy talk, keep talking, happy dog. Talk about things you'd like to do. You've got to have a dream. If you don't have a dream, how you gonna have a dream come true?
Me and my cousin run
and just another dime a dozen. Mom and pop stop and shop, and oh my God, it's gotten too darn hot. Like my man Cole Porter said, people come through for a few cold waters and a lottery ticket, just a part of the routine. Everybody's got a job, everybody's got a dream. The gossip is I sip my coffee and smirk. The first stop is people stop to work. I bust it, I'm like, $1, $2, $1.50, $1.60, man, I got it. You want a box of condoms? What kind? That's 2 quarters, 2 quarter waters. The New York Times, you need a bag for that, the tax is added. Once you get some practice at it, you do rapid mathematics automatically. Selling maxi pads, fuzzy dice for taxi cabs. Practically everybody's stressed, yes, but we press through the mess, bounce checks, and wonder what's next.
I'm just a girl who can't say no. I'm in a terrible fix. I always say, come on, let's go, just when I ought to say nix. When a person tries to kiss a girl, I know she ought to give his face a smack. But as soon as someone kisses me, I somehow sorta wanna kiss him back. I'm just a fool when lights are low. I can't be prissy and quaint. I'm not the type that can faint. How can I be what I ain't? I can't say no.
Motto always sees me through. When you're good to mama, mama's good to you. There's a lot of favors I'm prepared to do. You do one for mama, she'll do one for you. They say that life is tit for tat, and that's the way I live. So I deserve a lot of tats for what I've got to give. Don't you know that this hand washes that one too? When you're good to mama, mama's good to you.
I'm waving through the window. I try to speak, but nobody can hear. So I wait around for an answer to appear while I'm watching people pass. I'm waiting.